Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from rainy Costa Rica. Today's topic is going to be, if you knew then what you know now. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. So that's a famous expression in English. If only I knew then what I know now. And I'm gonna place this in the narcissistic abusive cycle. If you had the knowledge, the wisdom that you have now back then when you met the narcissist, would things be different? Absolutely they would be. Let's say that you were born into the relationship. Let's say that it's a family member, say it's a lover, a neighbor, a business associate, a lifelong friend, whomever. Whoever this person is and or was, or whoever the toxic individuals in your life are, if you had the knowledge, the wisdom way back when, you could have insulated and protected yourself so much sooner, so much earlier on. And you could most likely have taken a different path on this thing called life. Thing is, that's not what happened. What happened with each and every one of us on the channel, and again, thank you very much for being here, is we had to go through the narcissistic abusive relationship and endure the toxic narcissistic abusive cycle to get to this point right here, right now. Now again, this is not something that you wanted to experience. It's not something that you wanted to go through, but yet here you are. And this is exactly part of your path. It's part of your journey. It is part of what makes you you. It's your history, it's your lineage. Now again, I'm not trying to trigger anybody or upset anybody. I'm just letting you know. So many times in life, you say that to yourself, wow, if I only knew that back then what I know now. Like an example, like if you knew certain events would take place, you would have done different things. And I get it, that's looking backwards, and at times that's healthy for individuals to do. However, you can't get stuck in that moment. You can't be wishing that things were different. They're not. You need to live in the present moment right here, right now with me, and be present in the exact hour and the moment right now. But there are times when you ponder and you say, wow, if I only knew back then what I know now, I could have made such a difference. I could have done different things. I could have made different decisions. And these are all true, but the truth of the matter is that's not what happened. So what happened is you did go through the relationship, and my hope is you are either exiting it, you have exited it, or it's long in the past, and you're now living your best life, or you're becoming educated, awakened, and aware, and understanding that this is part of your healing path. It's part of what makes you you, having gone through that relationship. Again, it's not fun. It's not what you signed up for. Example, let's say it's a romantic relationship, and you fell in love with somebody, and they wore the mask. They turned out to be a narcissist. Perhaps you got married to them, who knows? Well, that person that you fell in love with, they were nothing like the person post-love bomb when you first met them. In other words, they manipulated you. They trapped you and tricked you, and of course they took your resources, and at the end of the relationship, after the devaluation stage, perhaps you were discarded. Perhaps you're one of the fortunate ones that understood, and you ended the relationship, and you said, wait, something's wrong here. This is a one-way relationship. It's not benefiting me, and all my boundaries are being crushed, and you removed yourself from the relationship. That's a good thing. The point doesn't change, however, that you are with a narcissist. It's the same thing with a friendship. You befriend people, and for years they go on, and you're a pushover, you're a nice, easy person, or you're a people pleaser. Pushover wasn't a bad word, by the way, just you're a nice person, you're an empath. And then lo and behold, as time goes by, you see different sides of this individual, and you're like, who's this? This isn't the person I struck up a friendship with a couple decades ago. They've turned mean, they've turned nasty. Why? Because the whole time they were just extracting your resources from you. Now, did you have good times with them? I'm sure you did, but the mask was slipping each and every time you saw them, because the narcissist can't maintain the mask for a length of time. Eventually, every narcissistic relationship comes to an end. They all have an expiration date, every single one of them. But having said this, if I only knew back then what I know now, you could have taken different actions. Perhaps you wouldn't have pursued that romantic relationship. Perhaps you wouldn't have struck up that friendship. Perhaps you wouldn't have moved into that neighborhood. Maybe you wouldn't have taken that job. Maybe you wouldn't have relocated. Maybe you wouldn't have given the narcissist so much money. Maybe you wouldn't have decided to put this individual in front of yourself and put yourself low, meaning that you put them high on the pedestal and you didn't even pay attention to yourself as much as you should have. The list goes on and on. The truth of the matter is we can't change the past. We can't predict the future. We can only live in the present moment. Again, that's what the path is. That's what you should be doing. There will be moments in time, though, however, when you're reflecting, wow, I didn't pay attention to those red flags. I didn't trust my instincts or my intuition. I really was manipulated. I was completely taken advantage of, and I kept working for this individual, kept thinking things would change, knowing in the back of my mind that perhaps they weren't improving, but I kept working. I kept spinning around on that hamster wheel, working for this person who turned out to be the narcissist. And there are a litany of reasons why you did that. Again, maybe you were in love. Maybe it was a neighbor. Maybe it was a family member who you gave so many opportunities to until you finally had your first light bulb moment. You realized, wow, this person's not going to change. I know it's my sibling or a family member, but they're toxic. They just don't benefit me. And all they do is create drama. And all they do is manipulate me and tell lies. And all they want to do is extract resources from me. There's so many opportunities the narcissist is given throughout a relationship. So many. Nice. Countless opportunities. And they know this. They bank on you giving them opportunities. And they bank on you having a short-term memory. In other words, playing on your empathy or forgiving you. And just playing on the fact that you've always helped them out. You've always been there for them. Why would it change now? So remember this. Everything, the narcissist banks on cycles. In other words, they have groupies of people, little sects of people, SECTS, and they jump from group to group, person to person, relationship to relationship, until what? Until these people wise up and they get the education, and they say, no, I don't want to be a part of this person's life anymore. I'm going to remove myself, or unless they're discarded themselves. However it works. But the point is if you understand that everything goes a certain way until it doesn't. And here's an example. Let's say you're loaning somebody money. It doesn't have to be a narcissist, it could be anybody, but you're loaning somebody money. And you loan them, I don't know, X number of dollars, and then they say, hey, I'm gonna pay you back at the end of the month. And they do it. And then the next month, hey, I'm a little short, I need to borrow money again. And you loan them, they pay you back, it's good. And then the third month, sorry, I need to borrow money again, can you do it? Well, this is now becoming a habit, a pattern. Clearly that person doesn't respect your boundaries, or they're having monetary issues, but you loan them the money again. You're like, they've always paid me back, so of course I'm going to loan it to them. And guess what? They disappear, or they don't repay you. That's why I'm saying that, is because everything works the same way until it doesn't. Eventually, all things come to an end. So, going back in the narcissistic relationship, when you finally stood up for yourself and said, hey, something's wrong here. I don't appreciate the way I'm being spoken to. I don't appreciate you doing X, Y, and Z and all these things. And you're finally standing up for yourself. What happens then? Exactly. That's when you put a boundary up and you stand up for yourself, and that's when the narcissist most likely discards you. They can't have that because they want you in the narcissistic fog. They want you working for them. And why I'm saying that is because if you only knew then what you know now, like if you really understand that, yes, it would be good to take back the narcissistic relationship, meaning that you never entered it, but you can't. It's over with, it's done. This is now a learning process for you. You are now on the healing path. You are now rediscovering the third version of you. You are now living your best life, or you're on your way to living your best life. Once you come through the fire and rise through the ashes like a phoenix, I can assure you, with your hard work and due diligence and your courage and strength and commitment, you will see the world through a different set of eyes. You will have boundaries. You will not be so trusting. You will continue to be an empath, kind, loving, and beautiful, but you will watch where you place your energy. You will watch where you place your attention, which is where you place your energy. You will be cautious in entering relationships. Many times people post-narcissistic relationship, what they do is the right thing many times, is they just invest in themselves for a long period of time. In other words, they don't want to enter the dating pool. They don't want to make new friends. They don't want to do certain things. Now, I'm not suggesting to do any of those things. You have to do what's best for you. And in time, in your time, you will make the proper decisions. At least that's my hope. But post-narcissistic relationship, you do need to heal. And I strongly suggest every single day that you invest your time into yourself. And when your cup is full, you can go out looking for a new romantic interest. You can strike up new friendships. You can start a business. You can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, whatever you're going to do. But by no means should you be entering another relationship romantically until your cup is full, until you know who you are, until you actually rediscover the third version of you. Again, on the channel, I mentioned so frequently, there are three versions of you. There's a version of you before you met the narcissist, the version of you during the narcissistic relationship, which was the length of that relationship. And there's the third version of you post-narcissistic relationship once you have healed. Caveat, once you've healed. And this is the best version of you possible. I speak with so many people that have made it through the fire. So many people that have had the courage to fight for themselves, to believe in themselves when no one else would. And these people are now living their best lives. Are they cautious? Yes. Are they optimistic? Absolutely. Are they entering new relationships? 100%. Have they made positive changes in their life? You bet they have. And they continue to do so. And they continue to make wise decisions each and every day that benefit them, because they understand the healing path. They understand what it takes to come through the fire. Nobody's just going to knock on your door and say, hey, you know, I'd like to help you out. You know, do you want a job, or do you think you need it? No, it doesn't work that way. When you were in the narcissistic relationship, you understood that you were basically with that person, but you were alone on so many different levels. You were isolated, even if you were sitting right next to the narcissist. You were doing everything you possibly could, but you were never more alone than when you were in that relationship. And as a matter of fact, now that you're out of the relationship, if you are alone, I can assure you, you feel less alone now than you did back then. Now, before I close the video, because the lightning's really catching up here, I want to let you know that yes, if you only knew back then what you know now, that's a saying. It holds meaning. It's powerful. The truth of the matter is, you need to use your wisdom, your education, your experience from the narcissistic relationship to benefit yourself and those loved and trusted ones around you, if not now, when. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from thunder and lightning, rainy Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand the healing path is not linear. You are on it. Each and every day, it is my hope that you are getting light bulb moments or moving forward, becoming the best version of yourself, but most importantly, understanding who you are and discovering that third version of yourself. I love you. God bless you. Have a great afternoon. You are not alone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night, you guys. Bye.